Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Quaranteenie Entertainment. And today I would like to talk to you about the power of positive thinking. So, my name is Betty Ann Buitt, and I'm a counselor in private practice. And I talk to people both on the phone right now, or at one time they would come here to my center. Today's topic is very important to me, and it's important to what I believe. Um, when we are being positive, we need to think about sort of what we say to ourselves and to others. Because every word we speak has weight to it. And the more that we can think about how we speak to ourselves and to other people, the more that we can change it into a positive way of thinking. So, what I'd like to start with is how one talks to oneself. So, when you get up in the morning or when you go through your day, I want you to think about whether your thoughts are positive, neutral, or negative. So, positive thoughts are, oh, it's a beautiful day outside. Neutral thoughts are, oh, the day looks fine, or you're just thinking, oh, it's a great, it's okay to go out today. But negative could be, I don't want to go outside. I'm not happy about the day. What am I going to do outside anyway? And it's very important for you to think about how you're speaking to yourself. What I say to people is that their language is huge. So, even talking to ourselves and others, you need to think about how you speak to yourself. And if you're positive, then that's a great thing. If you're neutral, that's not going to affect your energy. But if you're negative to yourself or others, it could really affect your energy and theirs. So, one of the things that I want you to remember is that words have weight. And this is a little from the Daily Om by Madison Taylor, and I'm going to just read you this passage. The more conscious we become, the more we deepen our relationship to the words we choose to use. Words carry energy, and this gives language its power and its potential to heal or hurt. Most of us can remember a time that someone sent a word our way and it stuck with us. It may have been the first time we received a truly accurate compliment, or the time a friend or sibling called us a name, but either way, it stuck. This experience reminds us that what we say has weight and power, and that being conscious means being aware of how we use words. And so, what I say to people is that, you can get caught up in negative thinking, and then and negative feelings, and then you can get caught up in negative talk. And I call it the whirling dervish. And it's the idea that where words can kind of take us down into a tunnel of negative thinking. So that the more we become aware of what we're saying to ourselves and others, the more we can change it. There's a wonderful man. His name is Don Miguel Ruiz. And Don Miguel is from a line of what are called Nagal masters or teachers. And he wrote a book called The Four Agreements. And I think that this book is very important to mention to you because it's a great read. It's not a very long book, but it's extremely powerful. And what Don Miguel says in the beginning is that because of society, we've caught up in what he calls a matote, or a nightmare state. And that's as a result of too much media, television, basically the domestication of the planet, being too much involved in each other's lives. And he says that there are four things that we need to practice in order to change that. And the first thing is to be integral with your word. So every word we speak, we ask ourselves, is it hurtful or is it helpful? And if it's hurtful, we do not say it, right? And the second is, do not take it personally. And I say to people that people can take things very personally, but the only one that knows you is yourself. And to kind of keep that in mind and to say to yourself that what somebody else is saying is not about you. It's about them, and it's how they actually feel about themselves. The third is do not make assumptions. And the old saying goes that to assume makes an ass out of you and me. And the fourth is always do your best, but be kind and gentle with yourself and understand that your best changes from day to day, morning to night, in sickness and in health, and that we have to be very kind to who we are and what we're going through at the time, especially right now, because so many of us are experiencing a lot of emotions. Many people are feeling anxiety, and this could lead or also be part of depression as well, because things are very uncertain in the world, and people are finding it very challenging. So, it's important to really think about what you say to yourself and others and how you kind of conduct yourself. There's a man, and his name is Dr. Masaru Emoto. And he did an experience on water and consciousness. And I'm hoping that you can see this beautiful crystal that I'm holding up in the picture. And if you want to find out more about Dr. Masaru Emoto's experiments, you can go online. But what he did, which was so amazing, is that he took water, but before he formed it into a crystal, he had people, that were working with him say words to each crystal before it formed. This is love and gratitude, and if you can see in the picture how beautiful that crystal is, that's how it formed. But when words were said like evil or hate, no crystal formed. And I came across this probably about 10 years ago, and I was so fascinated by it, but it all started to make sense because our words, just like ourselves, we're energy, and we're an energy system. And so the more that we hear positive, the more that we vibrate at a higher level. And they've actually shown that words all have a vibration level. And there's many books that are starting to be written about that. But if you are saying negative words to yourself or to someone else, then words can vibrate at a lower level, and that can affect your wellness and your well-being and actually your happiness. And I'll tell you a little story about that. I used to work at a school, a private school with children. And I remember that one student came to see me one day, and they were pretty upset. And I was talking with them, and then all of a sudden they swore. They said a negative, a swear word, and they stopped and they looked at me and they go, "Oh, sorry." And I said, "What are you apologizing for?" "Oh," they said, "Well, I noticed that you don't swear." And I said, "Well, I want you to know that I don't swear for a reason." I said, "It's actually not a judgment about people swearing." I said, "It's because of the energy." I said, "When you use certain words, you actually vibrate at a different energy level." And I said, "I'm older and I might get sick if my vibration goes too low." Anyway, so I said, "That's why I don't swear." But I said, "I want you to feel comfortable in the way that you need to talk to me and tell me about what's happening for you." So, there's a lot of research that's being done on this, but it is about, the power of, that positive thinking that I've mentioned to you. And so, again, it's Dr. Masaru Emoto and water consciousness. And I'm just going to show you one more picture from this. And so, if you look at this picture here, this word that he said to the crystal or tried the water before it tried to form a crystal was evil, and no crystal formed. And underneath here, if you look down here, this beautiful crystal here was the word harmony. Okay. So it really does have a little sign that one of my young clients had done for me at one time. And what it says on this sign is, "You're beautiful. Never forget that." And this is a little chalkboard that I had. And I loved it so much that I couldn't erase it. And I just thought, she was making this picture for herself. And I thought, you know what? I really like the way that she has confidence in herself. And I had to share that with you. Another thing that I want to share with you is a little sign that I keep in my bathroom here at the center. And it says, learn something new, always be grateful, smile, wash your hands, be happy, make stuff, listen to your heart, read more books, dream, give more hugs and kisses, share, believe you can, use kind words, shine, dance, say I love you. And why I feel like that's important is because we really have to think about how we talk to ourselves and to other people. And the more positive that you can be about your life and about the choices you make, the better. But there is one thing that I want you to remember. Around that, we all have emotions. Every day, we're going through a lot right now as as a world, as a country, as a province, and even in my little town. Everybody's going through a lot. So, of course, you're going to have times when you don't feel happy, when you feel sad, or you're going to feel angry, or you're going to feel frustrated, annoyed, and irritated. But one thing I would like you to think about doing for yourself is actually self coaching. I want you to kind of honor your feelings and then say to yourself, okay, I'm feeling like this, but what do I need? What do I need for myself, right? How can I start to take care of myself? Also, to become aware that you are feeling this way, but the feelings will not last, that they can change and they will go away eventually. And sometimes I say to people, you need to create maybe a little plan. So if you're struggling today, what could you do for yourself? Some people need to make a little list. And we're going to talk about that in the future. But if you make a little list, sometimes it can really help you to change your thinking, right? Or to get out in nature. So, again, it's that idea of what do I need for myself in order to make me feel different? And sometimes, too, it is positive self coaching. So, what do I mean by that? Earlier, I talked about the idea that when we become negative with ourselves or others, we can create what I call the whirling dervish, right? We can go down into kind of a negative space and we can start to feel like we can't change things. But the thing is, we can. So in the morning when you wake up, what are you grateful for? Or when you go to bed at night, what do you feel grateful for? Also, to give yourself some positive feedback. You know, I always say to people, that's one thing I'm really good at is self coaching. If I, clean up my kitchen, I'm really happy with myself and say, oh, you did a good job. And why is that? Because sometimes we don't have anybody else to tell us that. Um, or, if I go out for a walk, good for you, you're looking after yourself, right? So it's that positive self coaching that can happen that can really start to change the way we think. And with that, I want you to have a wonderful day. And I'll be back with you next Wednesday morning. And as we move along, I'm going to talk about different subjects. If you have any suggestions or ideas, please leave them for me, and I'm more than welcome to look at discussing them with you. So what I'd like to close with is I send you light and love and let you go. I send you love and light and let you go. Take care and be safe. Bye.